What's happening?
Is this the end?
The sky was normal at first. Clear blue, the sun shining, people walking to work, cars filling the streets, children laughing in schools. But then, without warning, the clouds began to glow. They burned bright like gold, as if fire was hidden inside them. A sound shook the air. It was not thunder, not lightning, but a trumpet. Loud, endless, rolling through every street, every room, every ear. People froze. Some dropped what they carried. Some covered their ears. Some looked to the sky, wide-eyed. And then it happened. In the blink of an eye, millions were gone. A child playing with a ball vanished, the ball rolled away empty. A worker carrying bricks dropped his load and disappeared. On the highways, cars sped forward without drivers, crashing into walls and one another. In kitchens, spoons fell into bowls. In offices, chairs rolled back, empty. The world screamed. This was the rapture. Above, the heavens tore open. A bright light flooded down, brighter than the sun, yet it did not burn. From the light came angels, tall, shining, their wings stretched wide like silver fire. Their faces were calm, full of power, full of glory. Some people rose into the air. They floated, lifted by the light, their faces shining as they vanished into the clouds. Their families screamed. Some ran to catch them, but it was too late. Others were left behind. They fell to their knees. They shouted, they cried, they hid. Some begged for answers, but no answers came. Daniel, a banker in a tall city tower, stood at the glass. He had dreamed of this night before, a warning in the dark, but he laughed it away. Now he watched as cars burned below and people screamed in the streets. His heart pounded. His chest felt heavy. He whispered, "Why didn't I listen?" Far away, Sarah, a teacher, dropped her chalk. She turned to her classroom, but half the desks were empty. The children were gone. Only a few remained, crying, asking questions she could not answer. Sarah closed her eyes. She remembered her grandmother's words, the verses she used to hear as a child. She whispered, "Why didn't I believe?" In churches across the world, hymn books hit the floor. Half the pews stood empty. A choir's voice broke off mid-song. Some preachers vanished from their pulpits. Others remained, their faces white with fear. A candle flickered and went out, leaving darkness in the room. The faithful were gone. The rest were left behind. The world shook. Airplanes without pilots fell from the sky. Fires spread through cities. Sirens wailed. People ran in every direction, searching for loved ones who were no longer there. Some cried out to God. Some cursed his name. Some stared in shock, too frozen to move. Malachi, an old preacher in a broken town, was still there. He stood in his ruined church, his Bible pressed to his chest. His voice trembled, but he spoke to anyone who would listen. Repent. God is merciful. Even now he is calling you. Do not harden your hearts. But the church was nearly empty. His words echoed against the stone walls. At the United Nations, leaders gathered in fear. They argued in many languages, but no one had an answer. Families were broken. Entire governments were missing leaders. Entire towns were silent. Every person left behind felt the weight. Lies, greed, pride, anger. Every hidden sin stood out like scars. Many asked, "Why me? Why was I left?" But the answer was already known. At noon, the sky grew black. Darkness covered the land. Thunder rolled again and hail fell like stones, smashing roofs and glass. The earth cracked, swallowing streets, leaving broken ground where houses once stood. People screamed. Some ran for safety. Some dropped to their knees, their hands lifted to heaven. In the middle of this storm, a girl named Miriam knelt in a city park. Her clothes were torn, her face wet with tears. She folded her hands and prayed out loud, "Lord, forgive me. I know I failed you. Please take me back." At once the storm calmed. The clouds opened. A soft light shone down, warm and gentle. Birds sang again. For a moment, peace filled the park. Miriam's heart felt lighter, but not all people prayed. Many turned their faces away. Some closed their ears, shaking their heads. They chose anger over mercy, despair over hope. The world was broken. Families were torn apart. Cities were falling. But one truth stood clear. The door of mercy was still open. God had not turned away. Some hearts grew hard like stone. They cursed the sky, cursed the light, cursed their neighbors. But many fell on their knees, crying, weeping, begging for another chance. Daniel sat alone in his tall tower. He dropped his phone, his papers, his pride. He knelt on the floor and whispered a prayer he once mocked. Forgive me. Save me. Sarah, the teacher, gathered the children who were left. She read from her grandmother's Bible, her voice shaking but the words strong. Whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Malachi stood outside his ruined church calling into the streets. His voice cracked, but his words reached broken ears. Some laughed at him, but others listened. The world was not the same anymore, but the choice was still there. Darkness or light, despair or hope, death or life. The rapture had come, but the story of each soul was still being written.